What's up, people? It's Andrew here with the Andrew Reverb YouTube channel, and understandably I can imagine you guys are probably wondering what's up with the lack of content. Well, to answer that question, I've been relatively busy. I've been a courier for a tech repair company. Not going to get into too much details, but as of recently I've been laid off. Now, with the recent layoff, I've obviously had to look for a new job. I've even considered unemployment. To which then I came up with the craziest idea. What if I decide to go in the direction of self-employment? Obviously, it's something I should have considered a long time ago. I know I've been procrastinating a long time, and apologies for that. I then decided, well, with doing so, maybe this is time to move forward with that and finally follow those goals I've been putting off for so long. So I decided to jump on the eBay trend. Obviously, I'll explain more thoroughly with that in another later video, but when I'm doing the whole eBay situation, I then came up with the great idea of showing you guys the full process of this goal that I had set for this channel for the, long-term events or whatever. What if I go from $0 to 100K using side hustles and other income gigs, if you will, and other forms of employment, and try to see what is the most beneficial. Obviously, for me, whatever works may not work for you guys, and I want to clarify this is in no way a means for get rich fast or anything like that. The main goal of this was just to show my process in becoming unemployed and then working up from that. So my whole game plan for this was basically to start a business, even if something small, like I said, for eBay is one of the ideas, and then use that to obviously help pay for things that I need to pay for, and then take whatever's left from that and invest in other areas of business, if you will. I then got to thinking, not only am I going to put a lot of my focus into eBay, but I also want to, like I said earlier, see what other things work. So with eBay's final results and then compare that to other businesses, I also have noticed that there's only a specific niche that you could probably sell on eBay that works. Not saying that you can't sell a lot of things, but I feel with everything that's popping up nowadays, there's a lot of different means of making some extra income, and that's kind of the goal for this channel. So I'm going to be setting myself up with a lot of challenges. eBay obviously is predominantly the main focus, but I also want to focus in other areas and see what works best. Arbitrage is clearly the main focal point, but I also want to do digital online products and then also try some physical on-hands business ventures. Since I have experience in driving previously, I think maybe that's something to get back into, like DoorDash, and see how that compares to eBay or even selling on places like Shopify or Etsy. I also have seen a lot of Whatnot, so maybe I could try there, along with different other areas to see what works and what does. Along the way, we're also going to be taking on some new skills, so things that I don't fully know, obviously I'm going to have to study and research, and then I'll show you the process for all of that. I want to really be clear, and I might have mentioned this already if I haven't, done so. Sometimes I forget when I'm really in the momentum of this. But the main goal of this is not to show all you guys how to get rich. If it inspires you, that's great. But like I said, this is more of my process and how I accomplish it. So if something that I do does work for you, great, but it's not guaranteed. And then also I've thought about what I've seen mostly, like what's my main concern is I've seen a lot of these get-rich financial gurus promising if you follow their plan to the exact tooth that you could potentially make that same amount of money. And that's something I also want to debunk and see if that is true. So we may try some of those, but for now I want to focus on the definite possibilities and legitimate forms of how we could potentially make some income. So with that being said, I wanted to give you guys a little insight into what I'm going to be currently doing. We're hopefully going to be getting a lot of new content out, and what you'll be seeing is a lot of this business entrepreneurial moves, like selling online and working random jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I know this is probably like a short video. You guys were probably expecting to see a major comeback, but this is where it's going to be at for now until I kind of still have to figure out the rest of this. Right now I have just the basic layout. Like I said, eBay, I'm going to show you what I've been doing for the past 90 days, what my results have been, and we're going to lay that all on the table. In the meantime, I hope you guys are going to be here for the long run, see how I do things, and enjoy the process. Anyway, that's Andrew Reverb, over and out.